Imagine a world where your favorite TV show has been a part of your life for 2 decades. For fans of How I Met Your Mother, HIMYM, that's a reality. As the show approaches its 20th anniversary, co-creator Craig Thomas takes a stroll down memory lane, reminiscing about the journey of creating this iconic series. With the pilot episode airing on September 19, 2005, it's hard to believe that we're now just 5 years away from 2030, the year in which Ted sits his kids down to tell them the story of how he met their mother. Which of these time jumps feels more surreal? For Thomas, it's the latter, as he and his co-creator Carter Bays had imagined 2030 as a far-off, sci-fi-like future. Now with both of them having turned 50 and having kids of their own, they've entered the future Ted decade themselves. But here's where it gets interesting. The concept of the show was born out of Thomas's own life, drawing inspiration from his experiences as a single guy in his 20s, wondering when he'd find the one. The title of the show came first, followed by the narrator conceit, and finally the idea of a Friends in New York show based on their own lives. The future framing device was influenced by their love for The Princess Bride and The Wonder Years, with Bob Saget's voice adding a touch of nostalgia to the show. So what came first, the title, the narrator conceit, or the idea of doing a Friends in New York show based on their own lives? According to Thomas, it was the title that sparked the idea, and the rest followed naturally. The show's creators knew they needed a strong hook to distinguish it from other Friends clones that were popping up at the time. They didn't want to be just another show about a group of friends living in New York. They wanted to create something unique. And this is the part most people miss. The show's concept was not just about a group of friends, but about the story of how Ted met his kid's mother, told through a series of flashbacks and flash-forwards. When pitching the show to CBS, Thomas and Bays started with the characters and their stories, and then introduced the twist, the future framing device. This approach allowed the network to connect with the characters before being presented with the show's unique concept. One of the standout features of HIMYM is the way the characters interact with each other. In the pilot episode, when a character says something funny, the others actually laugh, a trait that's unusual for sitcoms, even today. This was a conscious choice made by the cast, who wanted the show to feel lived in and real. The fact that the characters laugh and connect with each other in a non-performative way makes them feel more human, and this is a key aspect of the show's appeal. But what about the show's infamous finale? Thomas reveals that a pivotal scene between Ted and Robin was cut from the final episode, which could have changed the way viewers perceived their relationship. The scene, which is available on the DVD box set, shows Robin expressing regret over how their relationship unfolded, and it's a moment that could have convinced some viewers that they were meant to be. However, due to network time constraints and concerns about making Robin seem too sad or regretful, the scene was ultimately cut. And this is where the controversy comes in. Some fans feel that the finale didn't do justice to the characters, while others believe that it was a fitting ending to the series. What do you think? Should the scene have been included in the finale, or was it better left on the cutting room floor? As the show's creators look back on their journey, they can't help but think about what could have been. With the rise of streaming services like Netflix, the way we consume TV shows has changed dramatically. Thomas wonders what HIMYM would have been like if it had been produced with shorter seasons, like many shows today. Would it have been better, or would it have lost its magic? The show's final season was vastly different from the others, with the entire season taking place over one weekend at Barney and Robin's wedding. This experiment was partly due to logistics with the actors' schedules, but it was also a reflection of how people were starting to watch TV. With the rise of binge-watching, the show's creators wanted to try something new. As for the show's legacy, Thomas believes that HIMYM was a product of its time, and its success was largely due to the fact that it was available on Netflix. The show's impact can still be felt today, with its influence visible in many other sitcoms. So what's next for Thomas? He's recently released a debut novel, That's Not How It Happened, which tells a more concise story than HIMYM. The experience of writing a novel was liberating for Thomas, who enjoyed the feeling of a closed loop. This is the book,
and there's probably no sequel. The novel is a story about a family, one member with Down syndrome, and how everyone faces big turning points. For Thomas, it's a story he lived through but never told on the show, and now he's written this book about it. As we look back on the journey of HIMYM, it's clear that the show has left a lasting impact on the world of television. With its unique concept, lovable characters, and memorable moments, it's a show that will continue to be beloved by fans for years to come. So, if you could go back and sit in the booth at McLaren's for just one scene from all 9 seasons, which would you pick?
For Thomas, it would be the final scene of the pilot, when the gang is all hanging out at the end of that crazy night. It's a moment that fills him with joy, hope, and optimism, a feeling that he wishes he could bottle up and give to the cast and crew. As the show's 20th anniversary approaches, fans are invited to share their thoughts and memories of HIMYM. What's your favorite moment from the show? Do you think the finale did justice to the characters, or was it a disappointment? Let's discuss in the comments below.